Seattle city leaders have been criticized in the past for wasting millions of dollars on the city's homeless crisis, but this year they say it's different.
Agencies have to prove the money they spend is producing results. In tonight's Project Seattle report, KOMO's Matt Markovich explains why the city may not be following up on its promise.
This city let a decade go by before it looked at whether it was getting the performance it needed.
It was a promise made 1 year ago under a different mayor that recipients of $34 million in taxpayer-funded contracts for homeless services this year will be held accountable for showing results. Recipients like the Downtown Emergency Service Center, or DESC, that run 5 overnight homeless shelters, including 2 across the street from the courthouse that can handle 258 people. The scene of repeated police, fire, and ambulance calls.
This is a rough area of town.
Yes.
People who have stayed there, like Charles Knight, have stories to tell.
It's too much combative survival mode.
And now the results. According to data collected by the Seattle Times, in the first quarter of this year, 61 shelter and sanctioned encampment programs in King County, funded by Seattle, the county, or the United Way, did not meet the minimum performance benchmarks to get people into housing, including DESC, and some programs covered by last year's promise.
Everybody wants to be accountable.
United Way does not receive any taxpayer money. It's all donations. And they recently did what most people expect with underperforming programs.
And we looked at our agencies, and those that were performing got more money or continued to get money, and those that did not receive funding.
The city, on the other hand, not the same. We asked the mayor's office what it plans to do with agencies underperforming. We got a vague response from the director of human services, saying the city is keeping a close eye on both the results of the funds we are investing and the crisis at hand. This means that we remain open and nimble to the city's part in the response.
I'm not down and out.
Charles feels safer on the street than in a shelter. He has an idea for taxpayers and donors who want to see who's underperforming or not.
I wish more people would do their undercover boss at the TV show, do that, and then decide if they still want to donate to some of these places, and they will understand why more people are sleeping outside.
In Seattle, Matt Markovich, KOMO News.
We reached out to DESC for a response but haven't heard back. The mayor's office says 3,000 formerly homeless people were in some form of housing in the first quarter of this year.